Hello, hello. I am Bridget Rowe. I am energy. I am powerful, and I am who I say I am. Let's see. Jerron is here. Hello, hey, Jerron. How are you? LaShawn is here. Welcome, LaShawn. You want to go ahead, link it, and so we could drop um, this information. I don't want to be too long. I just like to jump in. Can can you all hear Nikki, LaShawn, and Jerron? Can you hear Nikki?
Hello guys, can you hear me? Okay.
Vegan taco. Yes. Hi, Rashida. I guess they can hear you. They're saying hi. Nobody comment. Jerron, could you let me know if you can hear Nikki? It is kind of low this time.
It is.
Yeah, I have my
Yeah.
volume all the way up. Yes. They said they can hear you. Go, Nikki. Let's roll.
Apologize, you guys. I have a new phone, so you may not be able to hear me as clearly. In any case, today's topic was one that was submitted to Bridget via her Facebook group, I Am That I Am, and reposted requesting different topics that she would discuss on her Wednesday Girl Talk. And in exchange for that, she was going to choose a topic and choose a winner, and that winner would receive one of her products, looks like any cleanse. The winner of that topic was Civil Odom. Civil Odom by the topic that we're going to be discussing today. And in exchange for that, she's going to be receiving Quick Vitamin Cleanse.
Yes.
Civil sent your package out. You should receive it this Friday, July 5th. So please let us know if you don't receive that, and we'll follow up on that.
Right. Congratulations, Sybil. And I'm thankful for that topic because it tied in line with where I wanted to go with the channel, of where I wanted us to evolve to. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Sybil. So some question that will be answered shortly by Bridget was, did you come here gay or straight? And does it matter? Bridget, you want to give us some little wisdom concerning that topic?
Yes. Yes. Did you come here straight, and does it matter? So beautiful. So, first of all, I know that we're going to have some matrix thinkers commenting or listening, or should I call them duality thinkers? And they'll watch this video. But as I stated in my last video, I wanted to begin to look at things through a universal perspective. And I myself am included when I say that we're going to have matrix thinkers, because, it is the duality of it all that, we see every day. But when we talk about a universal perspective, all is God. And so God expresses itself differently. And how I like to say that on my channel oftentimes is that all things are energy, frequency, and vibration. So God can vibrate at different frequencies. And so inside of what we would call the matrix, or the thought process of us, many are underneath a spell of the matrix. And the spell itself is the illusion of separation, or the duality that exists. And the spell started when we all were a baby, because when we are a baby, like even when we're in the mother's womb, for example, we can hear, we don't see yet, but we can hear all things that's going on. You know how, the mother and the father, they'll talk to the baby when it's in the womb. We can feel when the mother is feeling different emotions like fear, excitement, joy, love, or whatever. Then when we show up as a baby in the physical reality, we sit there like a sponge, like just a baby sitting on the bed, and the baby will just watch the mother just walk around the room. They won't, maybe in the beginning, won't move the head, but their eyes will just begin to follow the mother, absorbing everything in the physical reality, getting all the information, all the programs downloaded into their subconscious mind. Now, children do this up until the 7-year mark. You know, the 7-year mark, just like we talk about the 7 chakra pools of energy, 7 years although representing each chakra pool of energy, the child is absorbing information. And this becomes the program setting for the child's physical reality. And the only time that program setting is changed is when that person themselves begin to reprogram their own thoughts or their own subconscious mind based upon the boundless universe instead of duality. And so in my last video, I was explaining how things can appear to be separate things, but it is two inseparable parts of the same thing. And so I talked about love and hate. I talked about female and male, things like that. And I'm going to use this coin in this particular video to help you see that one cannot exist without the other. The duality has many of us in a delusional or illusional state of being and say, well, it has to be this way or it has to be this way. But when we begin to subject our thoughts to that particular illusion, ill being the prefix of that word, someone has to be sick in the illusion of the matrix of all things. And so an example of that is that love is on this side of the coin. Yeah, that's the heads. Love is on this side of the coin. But if someone displays hate, are they no longer a part of God? Remember that God is the coin. And so we can look at this in religion, in the biblical text. When they talk about God, they'll say scriptures like, I am God. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Two sides, the duality of it all. But some people don't want to believe that. They want to believe that, okay, when it's sunny outside, this is God. But when Hurricane Katrina came and hit New Orleans and destroyed and took lives, that wasn't God anymore. Same coin. But it's like that because they are viewing through a lens of duality that limits God to one side of the coin when God is the entire coin. So when we're dealing with straight versus gay, we should not judge which way God is expressing itself, because God expresses itself at different frequencies. You might not understand this when you're standing underneath the spell or the spelling of duality. But if you tap into the universal perspective of all things, you begin to see that all things stem from a boundless universe where all is God. So an example of this here is that during the looking through the lens of duality, men have testicles, men have a penis. They have outward vaginas, really. On the other side of the coin or the lens of duality, we have women. Women have a clitoris and ovaries. They have inward vagina. So a man has testicles. The woman has ovaries. A man has a penis. A woman has a clitoris. And trust and believe that clitoris does get hard and it does have an erection. So what am I saying here? Is that the same organ developed differently? So women get periods. You know, our monthly cycle, we'll get emotional mood swings and we'll bleed. Well, men still have periods now where they have emotional mood swings. They just don't bleed. So what am I saying here? Is that the same thing, just expressed a little bit differently? In the first 6 weeks of all humans, the fetus is identified as the X chromosome, female. If and when testosterone is produced, then it begins to express itself as a Y chromosome. So what am I saying? Is it just a female expressed differently and then it becomes a male? So I've seen women in my physical reality, and I could look at them in their shape and I can say, she have a nice ass. You know? Every woman in the physical reality done seen another woman ass before. So I could look at her ass and be like, oh, she really have a nice ass. And it might turn me on in the sense like, oh my goodness, I wish I had an ass like that. So does that mean now, since I explored that thought, that I am a lesbian? Does that mean now that you all will cut me off after all of the conscious talking I have shared with you and say that I am no longer a part of God? Just because I express myself at a different frequency than what you all were programmed to express in the matrix. A different frequency that you weren't programmed to believe. Not at all. I would say hell no, because I am not. But I also understand that all is God. And I have free will to express myself however I choose to express myself.
Right.
Now I can sit here and I can see that there'll be people maybe. I can foresee that people, because we have different journeys and different perspectives. I can foresee people maybe yelling or maybe commenting saying, no, it is abomination to God. Well, so shall it be for them if they choose to have a thought that is limited to the matrix of duality. Because they are creating their own reality inside of those thoughts. But when you begin to overstand it all and free yourself from the duality of it all and separate yourself from that thing we call the matrix, you begin to see that all of that will cease to be believed by you in the physical reality. And you'll begin to create that union with the all, that union that you really stem from, which all is God. And so the last part of the question that Sybil asked was, does it matter?
Right.
Does it matter? And my answer to that is that it is my promise to you that it does not matter, because all is God expressing itself in a different way. And I would like to say to those who are part of the LGBT community, which I am not a part of, but I would like to say to those type of people, when you have reached a part in your journey where you no longer care what people say or what people think about you, it is my belief that you have reached a dangerous level. And so I would say to you, rock on with your bad self. I love it.
Right.
All is God. And I love it. Any questions out there?
No questions. A couple of comments. Adrian says the balls of the man or the ovaries drop down.
Drop down.
And then she made a comment about when you were complimenting a woman. She said that all you were doing is just a woman complimenting another woman.
Exactly.
She's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And I think that sort of piggybacks on what you said last week about just being. You know, just be.
Just be. Just be.
Yeah.
Because so many people, I feel like more than anything that it is about the judgment. We've been programmed to judge because of the coin, because of the duality. If it's not on this side of the coin and if it's not on this side of the coin, no. And we don't want to accept that truth. But that's what we've been programmed to believe. When all is God, I promise, all is God. And this does not stop at gay, straight. This even expands to white, black. This expands to meat eaters versus vegan. Even though I even practice that myself. This goes through all things because all things are God. And so in my journey, what I've learned is that there are levels. And so when you at a lower frequency, it's almost like the universe allows you to evolve and expand to a higher level until you reach that union with God. And when you get there, it's not like you stop. You just have a reprogrammed subconscious mind. The conscious and subconscious becomes one, and then you can come back with a new way of looking at things because you've changed the way you look at things. Now the things that you begin to look at will begin to change for you. And this is where your power is. We're supposed to be expanding out to come back in with a new way of thinking. And so when you can do that, then you can understand, oh, okay, so now I can transform the energy of my food and bless it and make it be what I want it to be. See, before I expanded, I may have blessed my food in religion, but I still got sick. Because I had not created that union with God. I had not expanded and allowed my subconscious and conscious mind to become one. So when my subconscious mind was, my subconscious mind was saying one thing, my subconscious mind was saying another. So they canceled it out. So I got sick at my lower level. But when I expanded and became one with subconscious and conscious mind, and renewed my mind, that's where I got my power, when I got my union back with God. So I had to go there in order to come back to this state of mind, this state of being. Now, just like in that biblical text, they shall tread upon serpents and nothing shall by any means harm them. Because they had the union with God at that point. This is why people in the church, they be sick people, they be hurt people, because they never really had that ultimate union with all, because they are still into that hell, heaven, duality. They haven't expanded. Oh no, but this is the devil. No, I can't do that. No, that. No. All is God. Okay. Yeah, no judgment. Just love. Hey, Tiffany made it.
Yes, we did.
Just love beyond the physical.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. All is God.
All is God.
Oh.
All is God.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this particular question. I wrote about some of this that we was talking about in my book. So when I saw this question, it allowed me to think about the things that I wrote. And oh, that's a good question. LaShawn is asking.
Yeah, are you knowledgeable about shadow work? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Good question, LaShawn.
Right. Well, I'll get to all of the questions. I want to do separate videos for all of them. But I have had those experiences, yes. But I want to do all videos like separate, and just do one question at a time, because I don't really like, just me, and I guess, well, I know everybody's not like me, but I don't like long drawn out videos. And to cut back, I just like to keep it, short, sweet, and simple. So some people don't have that much of attention span, so I just like to, you know, drop those nuggets and get up out of there and let them think about that, and then next week drop some more nuggets, kind of like that's how I want to set up the flow of everything on this particular channel. But we'll get to that. We have other questions that Nikki have. What do we have next, Nikki?
Next week, Mel Crane submitted questions that she wanted answered, and it was, how do we connect with our spiritual guides? How do we find out their names? And how do we know when we come in contact with them in physical? So that's what we're going to talk about next week, spiritual guides.
Yeah, spiritual guides. Connecting with spiritual guides is going to be next week. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. I think that was a great topic. Well, she received so many great topics, so thank you for everyone that participated and gave their input. A lot of great topics. So I'm looking forward to the next week and the following weeks as well.
Right. And thank you all for joining. I